American dream is dead. But if I get elected president, I will bring it back bigger and better and stronger than
How's it going,
ever
folks?
before, and we will make America great again. Thank you. Thank you very much. 2016.
Good to see y'all.
Year of the snake.
We are back here on Trump Talk US Live in DC with your host, of course, Suzzanne Monk. That's me. We're going to enjoy a little laser snake. Let folks get on into the room. We're going to be talking about coronavirus today, you guys, because that's all anybody wants to talk about. They're making people crazy. So we're going to clear up some air. I've been holding off. About talking about this, you guys, but the time is now. It's out of control. So we're going to be talking. We're going to be talking about it. And we're just going to let little folks come on in here into the room. Do some shares. Let people know we are alive. Make America great again. Time to make America great. And always. And always. Shares, doing some shares. If you are in the room here, click share. Let people know we are going live. I say Trump. Time to make America great again. We are. I am. In fact, I am a real patriot.
Do you like having the right to bear arms? Protect your family? What about the ability to work a job and have jobs available to workers? You know who we need? This name starts with a T and ends with a Trump. Come on,
When I say Trump, make America. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. You are watching the one and only Trump Talk US Live in DC with Suzzanne Monk. I am Suzzanne Monk. We are 8 minutes away from our nation's beautiful capital. We're about 15 minutes away from our president's White House. I have Chris McDonald, our Monkin, representing Trump Talk US in the room. I want to give a shout out to my girl, Diane Ventura from the Trump Towel. Other hand, Trump Towel right there. We had a great time at CPAC. We're going to be talking about that. I know it's only Monday, right, Diane? It's only Monday. The world is already freaking out. So, of course, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, sendmag.com. We appreciate her support. If you have any delivery needs in the northeast part of the country, sendmag.com is going to be able to help you. Thank you for sharing. Pamela, Loretta, Diane, Jenna, there's Deborah. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my gosh, you guys. This week has already been crazy. The coronavirus, the coronavirus is completely out of control. Deborah, I'm okay. Let me just give a first report. I had a wonderful time at CPAC, came home Sunday, caught myself a little bit of what is likely to be the type A flu because I had the really high fever, but it went away pretty quickly. My lungs are clear, a little bit of that wheeze in the bottom, temperature's down, color is back, body is rested, voice is strong, healthy. How's it going from Mom? Good to see you. So, but I did take the week off thinking I could just rest and a little bit of a flu wasn't going to cause a whole bunch of hubbubaloo. Yeah. Woo, that's not what happened, is it? So, as you all have known, I'm pretty sure you've been seeing the news. If you have not heard the news about how you should be panicking over the coronavirus, you have probably been living under a rock. And I want to give you just a moment of appreciation that the first thing you would watch after crawling out from under that rock is this show. So thank you. Thank you for tuning in to Trump Talk US after crawling out from under your rock. As we know, there is a global, what I am now referring to as a panicdemic about the COVID-19 virus, what we are calling the coronavirus. Now it is 19. So there are other coronaviruses. This is coronavirus number 19, COVID number 19, coronavirus ID 19, COVID-19. Pretty straightforward stuff. This is the virus that we have heard called the Wuhan virus. They say it came out of Japan. The world is freaking out about it. It isn't. We're going to talk medically. We're going to talk about the stock market in a minute. I just want to catch everybody up with the medical reality of this virus. So this is an upper respiratory virus, like a viral pneumonia. Now, pneumonia, you guys, is just fluid in the lungs. Pneumonia is not a specific disease like we think of it. Pneumonia is a condition, okay? So this is a viral condition. This is a viral upper respiratory condition that affects predominantly the elderly. Very few children are actually contracting the disease. The vast majority, 99.7% of the people 60 and under who get the disease are recovering perfectly well. There you go. COVID-19 because it was out in 2019. There you go. There you go, Audra. Thank you, Audra. Let's put that up. So everyone, COVID-19, coronavirus ID 19, 2019. There you go. There you go. Thank you. So this virus, what we are being told about the virus and what we are able to gather from information from Canadian officials as well as our own CDC is that the COVID-19 virus is predominantly affecting only elderly people or people with compromised immune systems. We have very little information on the transmission rates, but we do have some very strong information on the recovery rates. As I said, 99.7% for people 60 and under. The death rate in the United States now at 1,000,001. We have only had 21 cases that have died here. We're still only, I think, 650 cases in the United States. A very small number of cases in the United States. Very small number of people even being tested positive. Now, this is what you have to understand. There is cases, okay? This is why we're going through the medical information, because you people are very stupid. Not you people, my listeners. You guys are actually the smartest people. Thank God I have you on my page, because otherwise you would drive me crazy. But the panicking Pams, so stupid. And you're making me crazy. So we have to go through the actual information. Sorry if we have to go slow, but we have to. Just because you have been tested for coronavirus, okay? You have been tested for some reason. Maybe you were in a job situation. Maybe you worked at the Gaylord as a hotel, and the hotel said, we got to test you, okay? You might have been tested. You might have been tested positive for carrying it. You might not have any symptoms. You would be asymptomatic. Asymptomatic. There are individuals who may have symptoms, but have not been tested because it's just like a regular flu that you get. The vast majority of people of normal health without a compromised system will in fact easily recover from this virus. You probably wouldn't even know you had the virus because you would just have the flu. Most people do not go to the doctor for a mild flu. That's the reality of the situation. The coronavirus 19 is a mild flu. Now, is it affecting elderly people? Yes. You know what? Also, you know what else affects elderly people? What illness might? The flu! Which, by the way, has killed many more people this year than the coronavirus has in its entirety. Now, there are, in regular cycles, these outbreaks of virus. This is history. I don't need to be a doctor to tell you history. This is just historical fact. There's the H1N1 virus, the swine flu, MERS, SARS. We could go on. Many of these viruses are different in nature. Some of them are upper respiratory. Some of them are intestinal. Some of them, like Ebola, are a hemorrhagic virus. That means it makes you bleed internally. It makes you bleed internally. This is not what the coronavirus is. It is an upper respiratory infection. Upper respiratory means you get a cough, maybe a sniffle, maybe a little sinuses. Go on, thank you. And from Israel, there are 50 cases in Israel. I'm going to put this up just because let's keep facts. 50 cases. I would actually, Israel would be a good place to be because you know what? Israel doesn't panic about a lot of things. They have a lot of other things to panic about other than 50 people who are vast majority going to recover. Okay. Now, so when you are talking about the coronavirus, when you are talking about the numbers of people who are being tested for the coronavirus, first off, we haven't been testing for the coronavirus because most people have gotten it or have been exposed to it, have had no symptoms or have recovered very quickly. There are several articles. You don't read these because the news doesn't want you to know this because we're going to talk about the panic, the real problem, the real issue in a second. They don't want you to know the recovery rate. They don't want you to talk to people who have had the virus and have come out of it. They don't want you to talk about the people that they took off the cruise and then put on regular domestic flights because the threat and risk to people's health is so low that you can stick people on a domestic flight and you're probably going to be okay. You need to be within 6 feet of the person to catch this virus. And they have to sneeze or cough on you. You need fluid contact. This is not an airborne contracted virus. What? You sneeze and that's in the air. This is what we're dealing with. Okay. Airborne viruses, airborne diseases are like Legionnaire's disease. They are dry. They can be carried through dust in the air. You breathe it in, you get the disease. In order to get a virus that I'm going to tell you, Kyle, we're going to talk about how long it's going to live because stupid people like you are making me do this. The virus has to be in fluid, bodily fluids from where it came. In other words, out your nose, a chew, or out your mouth, spittle. Okay? That has to get on you or get on something you touch. It can live up to 6 hours. Up to, not always 6 hours, up to 6 hours on soft surfaces, fabrics, brick, wood, that kind of things. Absorbent surfaces on metal can live up to 12 hours. Okay? Just like any other flu virus. Any other virus that can be killed with your Lysol wipes and your Clorox wipes. Just like anything else. Okay? So in order to get the virus, you are going to have to come in contact with somebody who has had the virus. They're going to have to sneeze on you. Now, it doesn't just mean it can't just get on your clothes. Okay? You have to get it into your mouth or nose. Okay? This is why they say don't touch your face because your mouth is now getting the germs that you've touched your face with. That's why they say don't touch your face. because it can't just be breathed in through your nose. It has to actually, the germ in the fluid has to get into your nasal cavity or your mouth to be exposed. To be exposed. That's not to contract the disease. That's not to make sure that you're going to develop symptoms. That is merely to make sure the germ gets in your body enough to possibly give you the disease. Possibly. Okay. So, all the panic that we're having about closing down schools, closing down events, all of this chaos that's being created economically is entirely based on panic. On panic. As I say, you know what? Where do you get your information is really the question. Because where I get my information is from years of biology study, understanding science, understanding statistics, being able to actually read. That's where I get the information. That's where I get the information. So, now, let's begin talking about the real danger, because it's not the virus. The flu itself will kill more people than the virus will. The virus numbers in China, as well as in Italy, across the country, we are seeing the rate of infection go down. Now, let's talk about statistics. Let's talk about statistics, because you idiots love to misuse statistics. But Suzzanne, there were another 100 people in Italy who contracted there was 100 more deaths today. Okay. Do you understand the rate of death? So in other words, in the first few weeks of the outbreak, you have 500 deaths. Now it's a 200 deaths. It goes down as the elderly population who was exposed to any epidemic, any virus, any of these seasonal and or global events, same thing happens, okay? But the numbers are already going down. The rate of infection is going down. That means the percentage of the population that's getting infected is going down as the percentage of the population that has contracted the virus and has gotten better, goes up. It's going to continue to do that. In fact, here's the reality of the situation. The number of cases that we believe were the coronavirus that came out of China, we have no way of knowing if those were coronavirus or not. You know why? Do you know why? Because they used symptomology to determine coronavirus. They did not use a coronavirus test. Okay, in the first several weeks in China, there was no coronavirus test. That's why the CDC is talking about, we have 1 million tests now. Have you been paying attention? We didn't have tests. So they were basing the number of cases, the numbers they were giving you. This is in Italy as well. They were basing the number of cases they are giving you on symptomology. That means anybody who had any symptoms like coronavirus. So that would mean any upper respiratory infection, any upper respiratory flip. Okay. They were being counted as a coronavirus patient. Okay. That's what happened. So now we have all these inflated numbers in China. We have inflated numbers. Now we're actually starting to get the tests. So we're going to find out. But what we are learning already from the cases that have come in, the recovery rate is very high. The contraction rate is not, the contagion rate is actually lower than SARS, lower than the measles. Did you know there's currently a measles outbreak right now in the United States? And that measles is on a factor, and on a contagion factor is an 18. Do you know what the contagion factor of coronavirus is? 2. Yeah. So places where we don't even seal the border in this country. Okay, we let people come across the border, bringing measles, bringing highly contagious diseases like measles, across the border all the time. Disneyland has had to close itself down multiple times, because of the measles. Highly deadly. Highly dangerous, much more dangerous for children. Yeah, Kyle, it isn't the measles and it isn't SARS. It's actually much easier than that. It's an actually much weaker disease than SARS, MERS, H1N1, swine flu, bird flu. Yes, much less deadly. Much less deadly. Look it up. Go look up the SARS epidemic. Go look up H1N1 epidemic. Go look up MERS. Go look up the Ebola scare. You are being led down a primrose path in order to cause a panic. Now let's talk about why they're causing a panic. Okay? Do you want to know why they're causing a panic? One. Oh, this is why. Thank you, Peter. Let's show Peter's comment. Show me the comment. No, show me the comment. Why won't it show me the comment? I can't believe you will not show me the comment. There we go. They want to cause a bad economy to hurt Trump. Yep. That's exactly the reason. And they are having a very effective attempt at that, because we have seen school closures. We've seen event closures. We've seen concert closures. Berkeley University is going to suspend in-person classes. Yeah, they're going to, starting Monday the 10th, they're going to suspend in-person instruction at great expense. And literally an undermining of the education process. We have schools that are being closed here. We have other people who say there's no panic. Do you know that 30 students at George Washington University, 30 students at George Washington University were dragged out of their beds at 1:00 in the morning because they had been to APAC, the Israeli conference, the Jewish conference that is here in DC, and two people after the fact, had tested positive for the virus. So the school dragged these 30 students out of their rooms in the middle of the night, demanded they stay at a hotel. A few days later, guess what? Oops, our bad. It was totally unnecessary that we dragged you out of the hotel. Out of the dorms. There was literally no medical reason whatsoever. This is the statement the school made itself. I'm not saying this. The school made this statement. There was no medical reason whatsoever for dragging those 30 students out of their beds and quarantining them. That's not common sense, Kyle. That's panic. That is panic. You know what's panic? Buying all of the rolls of toilet paper. Can anyone explain that? Has anyone figured out exactly where the toilet paper thing started? What crazy lunatic decided that they were going to buy up all the toilet paper for an upper respiratory disease? I mean, toilet paper isn't even a good tissue. So I know it's not that you're getting tissue for your nose. I don't understand what you think is going to happen. But in fact, not only here, but in Australia, across the globe, people physically fighting over toilet paper. Yeah. People out of stock of masks, out of hand sanitizer. People. Let me clarify something for you. Hand sanitizer is not an alternative to washing your hands with soap and water. There is no alternative to washing your hands with soap and water. Water, see, here's how this works. When you use soap, it's what we call a surfactant. A surfactant. You know what that means? That means it makes the surface slippery. It helps clear things off the. So now, when I run the water under the sink, the surfactant helps the dirt and germs wash off my hands. That's what soap and water does. Now, if I use hand sanitizer, okay, like lotion, let's just let's put a little, okay. Even though the alcohol is evaporating, what is happening to the germs? What is happening to the particles that are on my hands? Maybe they're getting killed, but they're still on my hands. Okay. If you didn't kill them, if you didn't get every little bit, that means it has to have a certain percentage of strength of alcohol. It can't be this alcohol-free hand sanitizer. You have to leave it on for a certain period of time. You have to put a certain amount. Maybe it will work. It's still not 100% effective. Far less effective than just washing your hands with soap and water. And whatever you've killed is now still on your hands. And yet we have idiots running around buying every bottle of hand sanitizer. Do you know that there are products that are not available on Amazon now? eBay had to suspend sales of toilet paper, hand sanitizer, and Clorox wipes. Actually, any alcohol, Kyle, this is the other thing. Any alcohol whatsoever will kill the virus. It's a strong component. Alcohol, your tequilas, your whiskeys, they'll kill the virus. So, you have nothing? Russian vodka? Yeah, actually, very reasonable alternative. Yes, Anat, I want to talk about this. Lino says, North Star Mall in San Antonio, Texas was closed, payday weekend, and people who had received their income tax return were expected to go shopping. That's right. So all of those businesses in that mall lost money. All of those businesses lost money. Their employees lost money. Their salesmen lost money. The families who wanted to be able to go out and purchase those things were unable to do that. This is happening everywhere across the country. Everywhere where the coronavirus is shutting things down. The church here in the DC, which now they have someone tested positive. And so don't go to church. Don't take communion. This is what they want you to do. Now, God forbid that we actually believe in the principle of communion, that it is in fact a holy sacrament, and that it would not then cause you to have a virus. But let's not let our faith actually come into play here. Let's of course let the left not only destroy our public square, our ability to interact with one another. We're not shaking hands anymore. We're elbowing. We're self-quarantining and accusing one another. We're going to talk about that in a minute. We can't sell Girl Scout cookies. We can't go to the grocery store. We can't go to school. We can't go to class. We can't go to church. We can't take the communion. Every aspect of our lives are being attacked. Why? For a virus that has had such limited health effects on the country, that the cost of panic has far exceeded the actual cost of the illness and of carrying individuals with the illness. And then there, of course, will be those who go, but people have died. Guess what genius is? The likelihood that anyone who has passed away from the coronavirus, COVID-19, the likelihood they would have gotten a flu and had a similar result, very, very high. Kind of a bad flu season, I'm told. The flu that's going around is very strong, I'm told. High fever. Very dangerous to the elderly. So, if you have a compromised immune system, the very likelihood that you would have not only that if it were not this disease, that there was some other disease is high. These are people at high risk. So the idea that there's some sort of pandemic going around the planet and thousands of people are dying is just not factual. And look, here's another thing. Karen, I'm going to put this up. This is important. Karen says, yes, it's a dangerous panic. They have just restricted visiting hours at my mother's nursing home. They already don't hire enough CNAs. So we go to help take care of our mother. Now we've been limited. Yes. Yes. And these medical professionals are limited in their methods that they can now care for people. The costs are going to go up because we now need to be tested. To what avail is it going to do us to spend the cost of a test every single time an old person gets an upper respiratory infection this year? So now, in addition to the costs of dealing with the upper respiratory infection, they're going to all have to be tested. So we're adding medical costs. For what? For what? The same result. The same result. Still a sickness that is still an upper respiratory infection that will still have to be treated with the exact same treatment that every other upper respiratory pneumonia, viral condition, cold has to be treated with. Has to be treated with. Yes. Oh, no, this is what they're having. They're having limits. I'm going to put this up. My head was out of regular alcohol. A man who wanted to buy all the Lysol. Limit was 2. They were buying all they can get. Yeah. This is the chaos we're experiencing. Now, let's talk a little bit about the CPAC situation, because on top of all of this chaos, yes, Deb, I want to put this up for a minute, because this is my grandson's 4 and 11. I've had the flu A, yep. Here 2 times. A and B 2 times. The flu is horrible this year. Yeah. Yeah, it is horrible. It is a bad flu year. Add to this crazy. That's what makes the panic even more insane. St. Jude is limiting visitors. We are changing procedures as far as community is being. That Florida has threatened domestic flight travel. Maryland is a state of emergency. All of these states who have only had 2 or 3 cases are calling states of emergency. Well, what does that mean? That means additional funds will be available. That means additional taxpayer dollars are available to be handed out. It doesn't matter that the other diseases are actually causing far more deaths and danger to the health and public health. Doesn't matter that those things might need economic support. In fact, it is just this panic. Now, let's talk about CPAC. Leslie, any immune system, I'm going to put this up because I think this is a good question. What is the elderly age group? Does high blood pressure or diabetes count? I'm 61. Leslie, here's what I will say on this. I'm not a doctor, okay? But from my understanding of the situation, it is people whose immune system is compromised. So if you are of normal physical health, I'm not talking about chronic conditions like diabetes that are chronically treated, or high blood pressure, which I'm assuming if you know you have it, you are already treating it. I'm talking about your immune system. So your ability to ward off disease. So if you are you're healthy, you're getting good exercise, you're getting good sleep, you're drinking plenty of fluids, your immune system is likely strong. And no, those things then do not count as a compromised immune system. Now, does that mean that there are people who have high blood pressure and diabetes and a compromised immune system? Yes. And I don't know your medical condition, so I don't know. But just having high blood pressure or diabetes does not directly compromise your immune system. So, no, you should be fine. You should be fine. Get plenty of sleep. Take some extra vitamin C. Drink fluids. Wash your hands. You should be good. Don't go around kissing a bunch of babies. You know what I'm saying? Like, just when you go visit your elderly mother, kiss her, go wash your hands. Wash. Pretty straightforward. It's pretty straightforward medical advice that they're giving. I am just repeating to you the pretty straightforward medical advice that they're giving me. So now let's talk a little bit about what went on in CPAC, because in addition to the economic destruction, the panic is being caused, and I am calling it that because I have watched the media for the last week or so pump this story. Every single local news station Baltimore local news station, Virginia local news station, DC local news station. Every single one has 3, 4 of the 7 stories they'll do in the news site are about the coronavirus. So there's constant panic. As we see the constant panic, the panic at the stores, people overbuying. That panic is being created by the media. The media is inciting the panic that's causing panic buying, that's causing the toilet paper to be all bought up. It's causing the masks to be all bought up. You know, the medical professionals need that more than we do, and then we're actually making it harder for them to get the products they need. So it's brilliant. You guys are brilliant. It's working out very well. So on top of this operation, the operation that's designed to attack the stock market, which, by the way, that has created volatility in the stock market. Now, if you followed the market up and down for the past few days, yeah, it has gone up, it has gone down. It has gone down, it has gone up. The more panic, we get down. We are still well above the lowest point in Trump's presidency since the meteoric rise after his inauguration. We are well above Barack Obama levels. We are well above economically what the market has been in the past. We have had a sell-off because of this panic. And because the panic is based not just in Chinese goods and trade, but we see conventions being shut down. The dental educators convention here in DC shut down. It's costing me money, actually. My husband can't go work the gig as an audio tech, as he does. Can't do it. Event got closed. Why? Panic. Panic. Deborah, that's a great question. Why are people not crazy about the flu? Because the media doesn't tell them to be crazy about the flu. But the media has been telling everybody for a week and a half to utterly panic about this virus. Now, let's talk about Chris, this is not even funny. The governor of New York has the prisoners making hand sanitizer. Is that really happening, Chris? I'm going to let Chris share the article. I'm hoping it's a joke. I can't even believe it. But I believe it. I believe it because the things I've seen this week are out of control. Now, I want to talk a little bit about what went on in CPAC. So, as we all know, there was an individual at the Conservative Political Action Conference, CPAC, that has tested positive for the coronavirus. He is being treated in a hospital in New Jersey. Okay. This individual came in contact, and by came in contact, I mean shook the hand, had a conversation with Ted Cruz, Matt Schlapp, other individuals who were in the green room at CPAC. The green room being the location where the speakers gather before they're going to go out on stage and speak during their allotted time. Okay? So, this individual had contact with individuals in the green room early in the week. So, probably Wednesday or Thursday, right? Then, this is what's making everyone freak out. So, this individual, CPAC goes by. After CPAC, they contract symptoms. They go to the hospital. They test for the virus. Oh my God, you were at CPAC. Hello, Sharon. How's it going? You were at CPAC. Well, so everyone has gone crazy. CPAC, of course, sent a letter out letting everyone under CPAC know that there was an individual who did attend CPAC who has now tested positive for the virus. They also have sent out a follow-up email. Now, there are many people who have called to have the name of what they are calling CPAC Patient Zero released. And if you want to see what panic and fear look like, if you want to see what the Salem witch trials would have looked like in a digital age, go to Twitter and click hashtag CPAC Patient Zero. Hashtag CPAC Patient Zero. Look it up. Now, I'm just gonna warn you. Here's what you're gonna see: the most crazy, paranoid, insane lunatics who are literally and obviously attempting to run a coup against our president, to drag down the Republican side of the party, and to drag our president into a quagmire by accusing him of not, quote, self-quarantining. Watch. It's gonna come out. They're in the middle of the phase right now. If you just go and look at CPAC patient 0, you will quickly find that's in fact exactly what the Democrats' talking points are right now. That the president did not self-quarantine himself. That Matt Schlapp, this is how stupid they are. How's it going, Roseanne? This is how stupid they are. And they want you to be. Okay. Hey, Bass Tammy, how you doing? They want you to be so stupid as to think this as well. This is not the plague. Okay. So if Matt Schlapp shook the hands of a person who may have had the virus, okay, and then he washed his hands, as I'm assuming he did between Wednesday and Saturday when the president spoke. Washed his hands between early in the week when he would have been in contact with the individual and then. The likelihood that he washed it, that he actually contracted any virus, despite being entirely asymptomatic, in that brief interaction, extremely low. Extremely low. But you have these morons. You have these morons who genuinely believe that if I was near someone with the coronavirus and then I shook hands with the president is now exposed and is a carrier of the contagion. And he went around hugging people and veterans and giving speeches, didn't even care. Talking to staff without a mask on. This is what they're trying to operate on our president. I know, I was a POTUS Friday. I'm good. He may have touched his face before. I know, this is so ridiculous. Yes, yes, I heard it in the press conference today. They asked the questions, have you been tested? This is what they're trying to do. This is what we're seeing. This is what we're going to keep seeing over the next week and a half. Now, real questions do have to be answered. I agree it was submitted by the Democrats, Roseanne. I agree 100%. They're hyping it. Yes. Oh, this is so... thank you for sharing that, Chris. I can't... It's so crazy. New York is making its own hand sanitizer amid the coronavirus outbreak using prison labor. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, you New Yorkers. Okay. Okay, good luck with that. Bernie is not canceling events, Valerie, but Biden has suggested he will cancel events. There are individuals who are calling for President Trump to cancel Trump rallies across the country out of fear of people being exposed. There's an attempt to close down any public event. In fact, Berkeley's new rule is that any event that will have more than 150 people is automatically canceled. Karen, that's awesome. Karen is going as a coronavirus for Purim. Thank you, Karen. Thank you for keeping humor in the situation. That's what keeps us all from actually panicking, is humor. Now, so what are we seeing? We are seeing a virus with minimal effects as far as a global pandemic is concerned. We are seeing the information coming in that the peak has already occurred and that the rate of infection is actually going down, even in countries where we have new rates of exposure, new exposure happening. The number of deaths in the United States is very low, as is in many other countries. And the rate of death, very low in the United States. The likelihood that you would be exposed to the virus because you must be in contact with bodily fluids and they must have sneezed on you, you need to be within 6 feet and they had to sneeze on you and had to get in your own cavity, which is why they say don't touch your face. So when it sneezes on you, sneezes on you, you get on your cheek and then you do like this and now it's in your nose. See, that's how it works. Don't touch your face, wash your hands. That's why. Wash your face. Doesn't hurt to wash your face either while you're washing your hands. None of that hurts. Nick, this is a very important thing. So we are seeing economic impacts. We are seeing people's jobs being canceled. We are seeing events being canceled. We are seeing classes being canceled. We are seeing church being canceled. Here is the big question, Nick. I'm so glad you put this up. We are also in the middle of election season. To what extent will panic about the coronavirus affect the election? Now, I suspect that the Democrats wanted to run this whole coronavirus scare a little later, so it got closer to affecting the national elections, but that's just not possible. They've lost every other method. So we certainly see in this situation, they are now forced to run this operation that they are running against the president, and they took advantage of CPAC. Now, I said there are questions that definitely need to be answered, and some of those questions, frankly, have to stem around, was the individual, and I don't need to know the name of the individual, but I think law enforcement should in fact investigate. There were open threats on social media from Democrats saying that they would, if they contracted the virus, go and intentionally expose conservatives and Republicans to the virus. Open threats that occurred. Now, I'm merely making a statement of fact. Is that what happened at CPAC? I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. But someone should investigate because there are, in fact, repeated threats. And if we have a situation where individuals are either A, intentionally exposing people, or B, exposing people, fraudulently exposing people. In other words, saying that people are exposed to create panic. For example, here in Maryland, the Maryland Health Department has had several situations where they have to investigate false claims of coronavirus online or through their complaint line that have been false. They are wasting lots of time and energy and man hours now to address these false claims. In fact, a 15-year-old boy here in the state of Maryland, right across the border in the state of Maryland, was falsely accused online of having the virus. So we now have children bullying other children based on the coronavirus because the panic has gotten so entirely out of control. It's time, Roseanne, I 100% agree. We have to put on the armor of God and pray because we're in a battle. We are in a battle with the crazy radical left who, whether or not, they will take advantage of anything. Did they create the virus? I don't know. Is it a laboratory experiment? I don't know. Did they release it intentionally? Did they get little vials and take it and expose themselves? I don't think so, but I don't know. But the panic is an intentional and obvious attack on our economy, on your jobs, on your right as a citizen to publicly assemble, on your ability to purchase goods for your home, on your ability to vote, on your ability to travel, is an attack on all of those things so that they can go after our president and blame him for the economy that's being affected, for the loss of work. Now, this is why I'm so proud of our president. Yep. Thank you, Liz. I'm going to put this up because people are absolutely crazy. I mentioned that on a post yesterday. Left is so evil. I got attacked by a bunch of socialist hacks by asking the question about whether this was done on purpose. Yeah. It's a very reasonable question. They made the threats. It happened. I saw the threats before I went to CPAC. I was like, whatever. They're going to come and poison us with coronavirus. Now, I've seen exactly what we see on hashtag CPAC patient zero. Tons of accusations. I personally have been accused of being patient zero by people who are upset because I would not jump on board with their bandwagon idea that we must demand that patient zero be named, because I suggested that there is in fact legal reasons why we do not name the individual, and that his medical information is in fact protected by HIPAA laws, which was factual. For this, I was accused of being patient zero and covering up my coronavirus, which, by the way, I do not have coronavirus. As you saw in the beginning, as we discussed in the beginning, I went to CPAC, was very healthy. After CPAC, had a flu, type A, high fever. I'm better. Did not leave my house for a week and a half. So, not exposing anybody to that flu either. Now, I agree, Leslie, with this. I want to talk about, we're going to close out the show with what the president has said. Leslie says, our President Trump has got this. I love our fearless president, as do I, Leslie. I hope you all get a chance to watch his press conference today about the coronavirus. I truly appreciate that President Trump has immediately begun to address the economic issues, fallout from this coronavirus panic. He has talked about providing tax credits and other stopgap loans to small businesses, other ways in which he is going to be addressing the economic fallout, because he knows very well, Terry, you're absolutely right. I'm just pop up Terry's going, you shouldn't have to name them. It's against many patients' rights law. Yeah, it's against all patients. Exactly. So the president is addressing the economic fallout directly. He had the Mike Pence, the other individuals who are more expertise come and talk about the medical realities of the situation, as far as having tests are concerned, as far as what the testing procedure is concerned, as far as what protocols you in your home or business should be operating to protect individuals in your community from getting the virus, or frankly, any other virus. Here's what's actually great about this is, in a year where we have a very bad flu situation, where the flu is particularly strong, excuse me, we will now have a bunch of people washing their hands, wiping their surfaces, cleaning their phones, cleaning their laptops. It's actually probably going to help cut back on the flu conditions as well. So perhaps that is a silver lining. Very much so. Now, we have to figure out how to get the panic calmed. Now, the panic, I will say this about the entire situation, because we all know that the panic is making everyone crazy. The news is constant about it. I'm going to give you a piece of hope. The virus only can last so long. The cycle of coronavirus can only be exposed, peak exposure rate, and then we start to come down. And we are already here on the world scale. Peak exposure rate already coming down. So we're in the down part of the cycle of any epidemic, any global contagion that spreads across the globe that we didn't have before. We've had several. The world did not end. It's going to end. And here's what's sad. When it ends, I know, Loretta, this is totally true. People should have known how to wash their hands prior to now. 100%. They really should have known that. When it ends, we're going to see the real result of that. So what I predict is a low number of deaths and a high rate of recovery, but an extensive economic cost. I hope it is possible for our president to mitigate that. I know it's very difficult to mitigate that on an individual level. For individuals who are losing income, very difficult to really compensate for that with governmental, especially federal governmental remedies. So certainly that's going to be of grave concern. I think what we need to do is help one another. Help one another. If you see a family in your community that is experiencing some economic hardship because of the virus, help them out. Bring them a casserole or something. Engage. If we are able to support one another, we can mitigate a great deal of the negative impact the Democrats have put upon us. We can lower that bite. And this is what's so frustrating. The Democrats want to crash the stock market. They want to spread misinformation, like this misinformation here. I'm going to show you this misinformation. This is false. I saw that the president got the virus. The president did not get the virus. President Trump does not have the coronavirus. He shook hands with Matt Schlapp, who 3 days earlier shook hands with somebody who was asymptomatic for the virus at the time of the meeting. That's what happened. That's what happened. See the lies? See the lies and the spin and the spread? That's what we have to combat. So I'm going to encourage each and every one of you to continue to share real medical information about the virus. Leslie, you got a lot of sunlight in Arizona. These are the things that kill the virus. Sunlight, disinfectant, alcohol will kill it. Heat will kill it. Okay. Lots of things. It's not that strong of a virus. We need to support one another. If we see economic struggle, let's see what we can do to support each other in whatever way possible. Stick together. If we mitigate the negative effects that the Democrats are trying to put upon us, not just on our stock market, but see, the Democrats don't care. They don't care how many actual citizens, individuals are going to lose our work, are going to lose money, are going to be negatively affected. They don't care. And there's no way to even measure that. They're just literally going to make it happen with the hopes that you'll get mad at the president and you'll not vote for him. Is that really going to be the case? Leslie, I'm going to put this up because when it comes to alcohol, Leslie says, do you mean drinking it? If you have coronavirus in your mouth and you drink alcohol, it will kill. It has to come in contact. Okay. But if you are needing a treatment for coronavirus panic, yes, definitely drink the alcohol. If you are panicking, if you are here in the world, okay, and everyone's panicking and you might be like, oh, you're starting to get that urge, I should go buy toilet paper and hoard it. If you're starting to feel that you might want to hoard toilet paper, go into your liquor closet, pour yourself a drink the alcohol. Drink alcohol until you no longer want to stupidly go buy toilet paper. That's what you should do. That definitely. And this is the information. This is the kind of fake stuff we're talking about. Here, we're going to talk about this. Here. Well, if he touched his mouth after shaking hands, he could be infected and then infect others. Who's he? If Matt Schlapp shook his hand and then went, he's not Joe Biden, you idiots. Joe Biden. Seriously, don't go around Joe Biden. He licks everybody's fingers. He's sniffing people. Joe Biden is probably a bigger coronavirus spread risk than anybody else, and they still let him out on the campaign trail. So how bad can the virus actually be? If they're letting Joe Biden go around still sniffing and finger biting, talking about his hairy legs. So ridiculous. In fact, do not look. And look, this is what they really want. Even if it's funny, this is what they really want. Panic, everyone. It's time for real. Not even English. The people who are spreading the panic online, the people who are encouraging, in fact, I would not be surprised if we have operatives who have been told to buy all this toilet paper so other people will panic and buy all the toilet paper, because it doesn't make any sense. It literally, unless you start to go, did they send a bunch of people out to panic buy toilet paper? That makes sense. That sounds like a reasonable explanation why people would be buying toilet paper for an illness that doesn't involve your butt at all. what they've said is people are going to be afraid that they will have to hunker down. So they're buying rice and pasta. Okay. Are you storing water? Are you storing water? Pretty straightforward. Are you seriously believing all of a sudden you haven't been a prepper, you haven't prepped for anything, but you think that somehow if you go buy a whole bunch of toilet paper and rice and noodles, you're going to be okay? I kind of wish that everyone who is that stupid really would get the flu. So that, maybe you'll stay home and spend some time thinking. Maybe I hope you stay healthy and live and survive, but maybe a small time in bed where you can read, educate yourself, learn a few things that might be really helpful. And this might be a way to help you do it. Yep, Roseanne. A lot of the doctors are saying exactly the same thing. It's a flu. Is it an influenza? It's a viral pneumonia. What is influenza? A form of viral pneumonia. It can also be an intestinal flu. It's very, very, very much just an ordinary flu. Yes, I love this, Jeanette. The first thing I buy when I think I'm coming down with the flu is toilet paper, said no one ever. Right, Jeanette, I don't do that. When I think I'm coming down with the flu, here's what I go to the store for. I get lotion tissues so that my little nose doesn't hurt and get all rough. I get some orange juice. I get some cough drops like my Halls. Maybe I'll get some Vicks. If it's really bad, I might get some cold medicine. I like something with a little expectorant so that I can get the phlegm out. I don't like to take a lot of medicine. Not a big medicine fan. Maybe some Alka-Seltzer cold. That sometimes helps you sleep in the beginning. This is what I'm going for. I'm not buying 5 cases of toilet paper. That's awesome. That's awesome, Jolanta. I'm going to put this up. I watched a little video from 1953 Poland and how the coronavirus was treated then. A previous version of the coronavirus, correct? Medical stations in every city serving shots of vodka to everybody, even children. They also administered vodka intravenously. Did that work? I don't know. But I noticed everybody didn't die, and here we are today. So apparently somebody survived the 1953 coronavirus outbreak with some vodka. That seemed to go well. Could be worse plans. Mucinex. Yeah, I'm not a Mucinex fan, but some people are. Some people are big on the Mucinex. I will say this. If you get a stuffy nose, do not use those nasal sprays. They're horribly addictive. And I don't mean like chemically addictive. I mean mentally addictive. You can breathe for a second, and then when you can't breathe, you're like, I need my spray. So don't do it. Just don't even start. Don't start. Oh, this is awesome. Nick says, make 1,000 ways to make out of rice. Yes, 1,000 rice recipes. Yes, apple cider vinegar, correct. Cindy, I'm going to put this up. Apple vinegars are killing the virus, just like, your white vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is actually a great thing to take. They're in gummy form now, so you don't have to. Remember when apple cider vinegar first came out, and everyone was like, "Ugh, you have to drink it," and it was horrible. We tried and we couldn't. Now they have gummies, so many different ways. Emergency. I think they call it. I think there's a drink they call it that. And of course, your elderberry, your vitamin C's. I got some great elderberry syrup. Valerie, thank you so much. Yeah, keep your immune system up. There's a lot of ways to stay healthy. Wash your hands. Deal with your immune system. Get plenty of sleep. Here is what you can do. What you can do physically to make sure you're not going to get sick from this virus. Okay? Pretty simple. 1, wash your hands. Wash your hands on a regular basis. You shake hands with a bunch of people. Wash your hands. Okay, if you change the baby, if you wipe the kid's nose, wash your hands. Wash your hands. 2, wipe down your surfaces, especially the ones you haven't touched in a long time or you haven't wiped in a long time. Wipe your laptop. Clean the surfaces. Your phone. Oh my God, you know how many germs on the phone? Clean the phone. Clean the phone. Okay? 2, 3, get enough sleep. Get enough sleep. Get 8 hours of rest. Get your daily, some people like 7, 8, get 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single night. Rest. Get plenty of fluids. Eat healthy. Bada bing, bada boom. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Don't panic buy anything. Seriously, don't buy any more than what you're going to need for your usual shopping period. Because by engaging in panic buying, you're helping other people engage in panic buying. And how do I know that? Because I've talked to individuals who went to the store, they saw other people panic buying, and they literally thought to themselves, maybe I should be panic buying. Why is everybody buying all this and I'm not? That's what panic does. Don't fall for it. Just because the dumb lady in front of you has 12 packs of toilet paper, and if you don't need toilet paper, don't get it. Don't get it. Okay? Go to work. Go to church. Go to the park. Go to the event. Go everywhere. If someone calls, if they cancel an event, frankly, call and complain and say, you guys are high. This is out of control panic. It's too much. Basic health procedures should be more than enough to keep everyone healthy and safe. So keep moving the economy forward. Do not buy into the hype and pray. I'm asking you, I'm begging you, each and every one of you, of my prayer warriors, I'm pleading with you, pray for our president who is being attacked in a very evil, sinister, and vicious way. Pray for our representatives that they might have wisdom to know how to respond to this in the public, because they are being put in a horrible position where if they respond rationally, they will be shamed and attacked. So we must pray strongly for their protection from the evil. So important. And that is our show for today, folks. There's going to be a lot more coming out about coronavirus. We could talk all day about the potential conspiracy theories. I could talk to you what I think what went on in Wuhan, and some very interesting things, but we'd of course have to get tinfoil out for that. And we're not going to sit here and talk about conspiracies, because I wanted you to cover today just the factual information, what we know factually about this virus and about the panic and hype and the attack that is being conducted on our president and on our country in this horrible method. So I want to thank each and every one of you for listening. And we will, of course, be back again on Wednesday, now in our usual fashion, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here. We're going to play a little bit of this.
Either get on the train or, who cares?
Thank y'all for tuning in. Appreciate it so much. Until next time, you guys, I am Suzzanne Monk. Chris McDonald representing Trump Talk US here in the room. You've been watching Trump Talk US 2020 live in DC with yours truly. Until next time, everybody, from me and President Nutcracker. He's got his little mask, you guys. He's safe. Say Trump it out. See you next time, you guys.
So what's your experience in front of the world?
Well, I design, I do research.